small queen. This is why I love reading. This is why I love stories. Like sharp intake of breath. I did finish my first book in 3 weeks. And they're right, y'all, they're right. This is so good. Hello, how are you all? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Peyton. If it looks like I'm wearing the same outfit as I was in my wrap up, it's because I am. I'm starting a new vlog. I'm starting a new vlog in hopes of crawling out of my reading slump because it's been going on for nearly 3 weeks and I'm sick of it. I want a new favorite. I want a 6-star read. I want to have a book that's just like, you know that feeling? Like it's just that whole book. That book is just your whole personality. It's been a minute since I've read one like that. That I'm just like a brand new favorite. 6 out of 6 out of 5. Wow. Just a banger of a book that I can't stop obsessing and thinking over. Like I want something fast paced. I want something that's gonna hold my attention and just have a killer story with great characters. I want it so bad. I'm gonna crawl out of my reading slump. I don't have a TBR for this video. Mac is not happy with me about that. I think I'm just gonna mood read and stave off this slumpy feeling. But I don't want to speak too soon because I'm only like 35% into it. I think I found a book that's getting me out of my reading slump. And it's one I didn't think I would ever pick. And the reason I picked this one up, one, because apparently the vibes are immaculate. But I was watching Heather McClary's newish video where she talked about these 2 books she had read, or one she had read when she was starting, where the vibes were like very gothic, dark academia, fall weather. She spoke so highly of this book that it sounds like, oh, this sounds so interesting. And I read the synopsis and I was like, oh, it sounds really interesting. It has a pretty high rating on Goodreads. And I was like, you know what? Nothing else is working. And if this doesn't work, that's okay because nothing's working. I read 80 pages last night, sitting on my couch. I was the prologue got me. What I need to tell you, the book is the dark romance, which I know. Last time I read dark romance, I hated it. And that was Butcher and Blackbird. Couldn't stand it. Don't get it. I just didn't think it was a very good book. I didn't think it was well written. I didn't think it was well executed. Anyway, that was my last foray into dark romance. I was like, I don't think this genre is for me, but Heather spoke so highly of this book with such passion, and she painted a picture of what this vibe would be, and the vibe is this. All this. That's the vibe I want right now. And that book is Nocticadia by Carrie Lake. I'm about 35% of the way through. I'm hooked. That prologue, I was like, you know what, I'll try. I'll read a chapter. The prologue sucked me in. It's a dark romance, but gothic, dark academia. There's some horror elements to it, which I'm really digging. And yeah, I like it. But it's about a young woman. She's in her 20s. When she was 16, 15, she witnessed her mother die after dealing with this unknown illness. And when she died, these black wormy things came out of her mouth, and she was the only one to see it. Nothing in her mother's pathology, autopsy report said anything about any abnormalities. It's just like she just died. She died in a horrible way, but I'll leave that part out because I don't want to get too spoilery. And then, so years later, she receives an acceptance letter from an Ivy League school that's off the coast of Maine on this island called Drcadia University, where it says it's rumored to be haunted by the souls of the mental patients exiled there centuries before. Those whose bones are said to make up the island's windy sands. She gets accepted off of this research paper she did about this fictional disease, which is basically like her saying like, this is what I witnessed my mother go through and this is how she died. Off of that, she gets an acceptance letter to study at Drcadia University because the main pathology professor, Devrick Bramwell, is the pathologist in charge of studying these previously unknown parasites. And he's a really bad reputation on campus. He's known as Dr. Death and known for like running these little gross autopsies in the basement of his research building. And his family has like this tied up legacy with the university too, and he's like brooding, he hates everyone, he's just a miserable person. And this is a student professor romance, but there is an age gap, but I don't think it's that bad. I mean, she's 21 and he's in his early to mid 30s, early 30s. I don't think it's that bad, but just know that there is a professor teacher dark fantasy gothic horror romance. Anyway, the town or the school reminds me of Hogwarts in Hogsmeade. They even reference that one line in the book. When she's describing it, it's like Hogwarts without the wands. So I don't want you to think like that it's like witches and like magic. There's none of that, but there is some like paranormal elements to it and fantasy elements. And just, yeah, I'm so sucked into the vibes of this book and the atmosphere. And it hasn't gotten cringy yet. It's almost 700-page book. And I'm like flying through it, so I'm just gonna stick with this. It's working for me at the moment. I'm shocked, but it is working for me at the moment. It's very atmospheric, I will give it that. Like, it is the fall vibes I want. Also, I think during this video I am going to start dressing up the house a little bit, because it's basically, we're in the Burr months, it's basically Halloween season to me. It's September 2nd right now. But it's basically Halloween season for me, so I'm gonna dig out some of my decorations and start decorating the house. I'm really excited about it, but I'm gonna get something to eat, but then I'm gonna keep reading this book that I'm like really into. It's also on KU too, so I feel like it's very low commitment level if I don't like it, but I'm really liking it. So I'm just gonna keep on this train, this dark academia, romance, fantasy, gothic, mystery, horror. I'm gonna stick with it for a bit. That vibe, at least half of the words that I just mentioned really work for me. So, all right, I'm gonna go do that. Update. I did finish my first book in 3 weeks. I did finish Nocticadia. I almost DNF'd it once, about 60-70% mark, because I thought some of it got like really cringy and like the spice was very, I don't know how to word it, dark romance spice. I was talking to Luke about it and I was like reading him some of the stuff out loud. He's like, are you getting like secondhand embarrassment from this? And I'm like, yes. I think that's my problem, is I get like secondhand embarrassment from it. Like, it's so silly and stupid, and it was, well, to be fair, like some of it was like really cringy, like eek. But I think I'm gonna give this a 3.75 at the end of the day, because it was very entertaining. It kept me hooked throughout. I liked the world, I liked the school, I liked the dark academia vibes, like old books, rainy, cold weather, sweaters, underground laboratories and morgues, a murder mystery, them studying the pathology of these people who have died from this unknown parasite. I don't know, like I was so hooked into that, and the ending, like the last like 2 sentences, I was like so it was wildly entertaining, very atmospheric, perfect fall book. Thank you so much, Heather, for getting me to read this. Even though if I was like screeching at some of the parts, the spice parts. I still don't know if I'm a dark romance girly, but I did overall like that because it wasn't so heavy on the spice that it was like unreadable. I think the overall story was enough to keep me hooked, so definitely recommend for a fall creepy vibey read. But the next book I'm going to pick up, I also got it on my Kindle, but I read the first 20 pages and I want to take notes. I'm so invested, and I think I want to get a physical copy. So I've seen a few people on TikTok, and I know I've been burned by TikTok before, but these are readers that I feel like I have really good, we have similar reading interests and loves and dislikes. So I'm taking their opinion, I take their opinion very highly. And that book is Artificial Wisdom by Thomas R. Weaver, which is a dystopian sci-fi thriller. And yeah, I read the first 20 pages and I was so tired last night, but I was like, oh, I want to take notes too. So a few different book talkers talked about this. One I really like is Ellie. I'll link all of them down below. I think one of them, I know Smitty for sure has a booktube. I will link him down below. And Michael Kist, who I follow on TikTok, all spoke so highly of this book. So this is about a world. It's set in the not so distant future in 2050, 10 years after this cataclysmic event, this heat wave that killed over 400 million people around the Persian Gulf, including the main character's wife. And there's speculation from him on whether or not it was actually a climate disaster or if weather is being used as a weapon of genocide. A whistleblower pulls the main character Tully into it to uncover the truth. Also, like, climate disasters are like a natural daily, weekly occurrence, like more so than they are now. There's a political race in the mix too for global dictatorship, and one of the candidates is an AI. So yeah, only 20 pages in. I'm so hooked. I have work to do. I have to go to the DMV, but all I want to do is come back and read this book. And I'm gonna take notes. And oh, I have a good feeling. Oh, I do. I have a good feeling. At least I hope. I haven't read sci-fi in a very long time. It's not a genre I typically go to. I like dystopian though, and post-apocalyptic-esque stories. It was spoken so highly of. It was on Kindle. I had Kindle credits. I was like, why not? It's free, basically. Girl math. But yeah, I have to go run some errands. But when I come back, and when I'm done with work, some serious reading will be had, because that's all I want to do right now. But I will talk to you all later. It is windy, gloomy out, so it's good reading. It's good reading for this type of thing, like a thriller. I'm in the mood for like something very fast-paced and something that's gonna keep me hooked. Not a normal thriller. I've like that was a bunch in August. I was trying to get out of my slump initially. I tried to pick up a few thrillers that were just like your average, in my opinion, like cookie cutter formula, and I couldn't get into them. But like, I think with this being sci-fi dystopian and the writing already hooking me so much, I think I'm in. I think this might work. So anyway, I will check back later. I look like death. I wanted to give a little reading update. I stayed up a little late last night, not super late, because I wanted to go to the gym this morning, but I did I'm about 40% into Artificial Wisdom. Y'all, did I manifest a 5-star read? Did I manifest a possible 6-star read? Because it's so good. Oh my god. And I never thought I would say that about a dystopian sci-fi thriller, techno thriller, which I can't say that I've read a lot of, or the combination of. Oh my god, I'm so hooked. The world that Thomas Weaver is weaving is so terrifying, fascinating. He is painting a picture. I'm playing a movie in my head. Oh my god. Like, I don't even know how much I want to talk about without getting into possible spoilers. I already mentioned what it was about. It's following this very high profile journalist, Marcus Tully, as he's digging into this climate disaster event that took place 10 years prior. His wife was killed. Also, it's been alleged to him by a whistleblower that this was actually constructed by the government. It wasn't just another climate disaster. It was actually something that was constructed. So he's digging deeper. He has a team with him, and there's a lot of political intrigue too, with the first presidential candidate being an AI. The reason they did that is because they don't think that a human being can basically deal with what is coming down the pipeline due to climate change. And they want a quick thinking, problem solving tech to do that. You know, it's horrifying, and it's set in 2050, so you know, it's not far off. And it's not out of the realm of possibility that that could happen, which makes it even more terrifying. I'm really invested in the story and the characters and the world and the intrigue and the mystery, and it's almost like a noir too, which I'm really vibing with. It's, oh my god, did I manifest this? I think I probably should change the name of this vlog because it is me crawling out of a reading slump, but I've also been looking to the booktube book talk community for these recommendations. You know, I laughed a lot at Nocticadia, but it did get me out of a slump, and this one I probably never would have picked up otherwise had I not seen these three beautiful creators talk so highly about it. And they're right, y'all, they're right. This is so good. This is such a good book, and I'm not even halfway through and I'm just blown away. Yeah, I mean, we might do something, me and Luke, Luke's making a cheesecake at the moment. We might do something tonight, but honestly, I'm not gonna be mad if we stay in so I can read this damn book, because y'all, this is a 1 in a million book. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to reading. Oh shoot, have to edit my thumbnail for tomorrow's video because it's the first time I'm posting in a few weeks. So, have to do that, get that all set up. Then I'm gonna sit back on the couch, read some more of my book. My cute little Rosie, and possibly Mac if he wants to snuggle. If you haven't noticed already, Rosie is very attached to me, and Mac is very attached to Luke. I don't know how or why it ended up that way, but I mean, Mac loves me very much, and Rosie loves Luke very much, but they both are Velcroed to us. They are Velcroed to their person. Anyway, I'm gonna go do that. Bye!
Are you shitting me? Capitalism really popped off today, ladies.
Hi! It is the next day. Yesterday, I got some reading done of Artificial Wisdom. Don't have much more to say. I am 50% through. I'm still loving it. All the things I said yesterday, they still apply. Luke only has Saturday nights off due to rehearsal, and he's going into tech week, so it was like our last night to really hang out for the next week while he gears up for this show. Am I crooked? Whatever. So we ended up just vegging out, making some food, and watching some horror movies. We watched Beetlejuice, which we've both seen. So good. Still love it. Luke went to bed, but I stayed up watching Longlegs, which I hadn't seen yet. It just came on streaming. So I watched that. I really liked the vibe of it. I really liked the cinematography. Oz Perkins, his previous film. Oh, what was it called? I'm blanking on what it's called. It has Kira Shepnick, the girl from Mad Men. She was also in Longlegs. I just butchered her name. Anyway, his previous film I thought was much scarier, much freakier. There were parts in this, like, there was one part that made me like sharp intake of breath. I would say it was more of a thriller than a horror movie. Like a horror thriller. I think Silence of the Lambs is a very good comparison to it. It's like Silence of the Lambs, but like more culty, more demonic, satanic. So Nicolas Cage was really good in it, and Micah Monroe, I love her. She was in it. Like, there's parts that I really liked, but I thought the story was like kind of fine. I'm probably gonna watch it again today, actually. Because it was like very visually striking. Because I'm gonna do some decorating today. So get my big Halloween box out of the basement with all my other decor. I did go to Home Goods and Target this morning just to like peruse. I didn't want to get a ton of stuff. I mainly got candles and a few bits and bobs, but I mainly just wanted stuff for my bookshelf. I got this lip oil from NYX. The shade is In a Mood, which definitely, for sure, I'm in a mood. Sheer lip balm. It's like this berry color. I do like it. I got a pink one, which I thought would be more of a nude. It's gross. It's not a good look for me. But this one I really like, and it is called In a Mood, and it looks like this. I'm not a beauty influencer, so I don't really talk about makeup, but I thought I'd try this out. I wanted more fall colors. But I'll start with Target because that's really small. I got mainly candles because I love their fall candles so much. The first one I got is Fall Day. They have these every year, so I usually get the same ones. Autumn Harvest, but in a new candle design. This one's the best. This one, Fall Day, Orchard Cider. Those are my favorite. Like the more spicy scents, not the sweet, sickly scents. This is the best. It's like... oh, it's like nutty and woodsy and a little sweet, but mostly like spicy. I don't know. Really like it. They didn't have a ton at Target. Like they've kind of cleared out, but they're setting up, they're moving their back to school stuff and then bringing in their Halloween stuff. So I think there'll be more in the next coming weeks. So, but these are more in like the home section. I got this spine candle, which I'm not going to burn. It's mainly going to be for decoration, but I thought this was really fun to go on the shelf. I'm going to do, sometime this month, into October, I'm going to do like a crafty Halloween spooky reading vlog and just do some crafts because I'm in the middle, not in the middle, I wish I was in the middle. I'm like not even done with the yoke part of the sweater I'm knitting, so I want to do that. But I got a little, this was in the arts and craft area, I got this little wooden pumpkin that I want to paint. Vintage pumpkin vibes. And those colors, and this, I'll put that on the shelf, but I wanted to paint that. I thought that would be really fun. I did get, last thing I got at Target was a new wreath. I thought this was really pretty. This is a look. Fall Queen. I love this. I thought this was really pretty. I had one that I got a couple years ago, but it was more like, I don't know, I didn't like it. It was more like, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. That's what I got at Target. And then at Home Goods, I got 2 of these guys for my shelves. I thought these were really fun, and then with the spine candle I thought they'd be really fun to have. I couldn't resist it, and I'm probably gonna use this year round, not just for Halloween, but I got this little cat mug with pumpkins on it. It's a good size, and you know, like when you hold a mug, it's just like, oh yeah, this is a good mug to hold. I thought it was like really funny and cute. And then I wanted to get a blanket, like a fall blanket for the moon chair, because right now I have my green checkered one, which is super cozy and comfy, but I wanted a more fall leaning one. And I saw this and I could not resist. I got this pinky rose colored peanuts one because I love peanuts, and it's so cute. I love it. I love it. That's my little mini Halloween haul. Like I said, I'm gonna get the box from downstairs. We're gonna do a little decorating. And then I'm going to read for most of the day because Luke is at rehearsal all day. And I might throw on a Halloween movie in the background, one I've already seen. I'm thinking Casper because I love the vibes of Casper, and I keep thinking about this. I keep thinking about the sweatshirt. The only reason I know about this is because Bree from Bree Talks Books. Hi Bree! I saw this post on Instagram from Bree. Totally influenced me. And the seller, oh, what's the seller's name? Honeywood Hollow has all these nostalgic fall sweaters. And I got the Meg Ryan fall because I was like, oh my god, if ever there have been a sweatshirt that is so me, it is Meg Ryan fall. That is the vibe I want all year round, my entire life. I just want it so bad. But there's another one that said just a girl who would let Casper keep her. I might have to get, oh, god, stop it. Stop it. They're all good. I only bought the Meg Ryan one, but honestly, I could have bought all of them. They're all so cute. Honeywood Hollow, I will link them down below too if you're interested. They have such cute stuff, and as far as I know, they've not sold out. So I think it's just like a pre-order situation. Let's go put some fall vibes in my house. I'm so excited. All right, talk soon. guys, I have not moved. I moved from the moon chair to the couch, but I have not stopped reading for the last 2 hours because I've been so sucked into Artificial Wisdom, and I just finished it. And I had to take a minute. I had to walk to the fridge, got a poppy, came back, got my camera from by the moon chair. Wow. I had to take a minute, y'all. Like that. I don't even know if I can form a coherent thought. 6 stars. 6 stars. It's one of my favorite things I've read in a while. Probably since Priory, that I've like really enjoyed a book this much and was so absorbed in it. Man, the book community is so cool because I don't know if I would have read this if I hadn't seen it recommended. You know what I mean? Like, I don't read sci-fi thriller. No, I probably wouldn't have been interested. But these creators spoke so passionately that I was like, you know what? I'll give it a try. And I'm so glad I did because that was amazing. That was so good. It was so cinematic. I kept like imagining how cool of a movie or a limited series this would be. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Oh my god. Damn. Am I gonna go back into a reading slump? Because this was so good. But this time I'm not gonna read. Tomorrow I'm probably just gonna take a break for a couple days. Let it sink in a little more. It is the work week. I have a lot to do. So it's probably best. I plowed through 2 books. One was almost 700 pages in a little bit over a week. You know, like, I might gab about this for a second. I love when you find a book, like a 6-star read, like a new favorite, when you discover a new favorite. Like, man, this is why I love reading. This is why I love stories. People's imagination and being so thoroughly entertained. I am like in the book with the characters. I almost had a heart attack during the one part because like this book is written and it's so fast paced and so much happens, so much changes, so many things change so quickly. Like you think it's one thing and then it becomes like 7 other things. I love that you're on like this, for most of the book, like this floating island, floating city. This floating country. That's where the majority of the books takes place, and it's like, oh, it's just so good. I think, yeah, I need to watch something and drink my poppy because I can't form any more coherent thoughts. It was great. Like, if you've seen Artificial Wisdom floating around, and maybe you're like me, you don't really read a lot of sci-fi, don't really read sci-fi thrillers. Thriller's not your main gig. That was one of the best books I've ever read. This is debut, which is wild that this came out of like one shot, no net. Like, wow. All right, but I'm gonna go. I will talk to you maybe tomorrow or the next day. Hi, I wasn't planning on filming, but I was planning on filming. Not in the car and not on my phone. I was in a rush to get out of the house. It's opening night for Luke's show, King Lear, and I'm very excited for him and proud, and I can't wait to see him. I don't know if any of this sound is going to work because I don't have a mic and it's my phone. So I might have to dub this or scrap it. It's only been a few minutes for you, but it's been a few days. It's been like 4 days for me since I finished Artificial Wisdom. Still feel the same way I felt about a few days ago. I haven't really read anything since. I did last night decide to pick up The Wedding People by Alison S. Foch. I was like, why is that name? I was in the store and I was like, why does that name sound so familiar? Why does that author's name sound so familiar? I read her previous book that came out a couple years ago. It was like one of the first books I read on my Kindle when I first got my Kindle. Notes on Your Sudden Disappearance. So good. I loved that book. I inhaled that book. So I was like, oh my god, I have to read this. And I've heard really good things about it. I've already been tabbing too. I'm about 90 pages in. I'm really loving it still. I think this will be that last gasp of summer type reading before I transition into all my fall TBR, which I'm filming this weekend to go up. But yeah, I'm really loving it. It is about a woman, Phoebe. I love the name Phoebe. She's approaching her 40s. She's a adjunct professor at a college. Her husband is a professor as well. And one morning she decides to put on her most beautiful dress, go to the airport, and go to this 5-star hotel that she's bookmarked and was always putting off going to see. She leaves her husband at home. This might get too spoilery, even though it's within the first 10 pages, so I'm just gonna not say it. But she goes to this hotel for a specific reason by herself. And at this hotel, she is the only person who's staying there that is not a part of this very large wedding. And she bumps into the bride of this wedding and she's like, what are you doing here? She's mistaken as part of the wedding party or part of the wedding people. In the flaps, this isn't a spoiler, it's in the flap, the women connect and confide in each other, and it's during the whole wedding week. And there's stuff, I don't know, I'm only 90 pages in, but I'm assuming there's stuff going to go on during the week that's to do with the wedding. And it has a back and forth timeline because Phoebe's kind of at rock bottom. Phoebe's in not a good place. Like, she's really miserable with her job. She feels really lost. She feels like all these things have gone wrong. She was trying to get pregnant and that ended up failing a few times, so it's not viable for her to continue, and it's really sad. I don't really know what she's doing with her life. The timeline is like back and forth, like how all the events that led up to this point, all the events that led up to her leaving so far. That's the first part. I don't know if it's going to continue to do that because you have really learned what's been going on, and it's heavy trigger warnings. It is very heavy subject matter, but it's written in a way where it's almost, there's levity to it. It's not as, I had to put it down because I was having a really bad mental health day, and I was like, I can't. So keep that in mind. Definitely look up trigger warnings, but I'm really loving it. Got like another half an hour to kill before I can go in the show. So I'm just gonna keep reading for a little bit. I'm gonna turn the car on because I'm going to start melting. But yeah, I will check back tomorrow and on my camera that will have better sound, or I might have to scrap this. Hello, it is the next day. Luke was so amazing in King Lear. Like, this is gonna sound weird, maybe. He is so good at playing a villain and such a slimy, gross character like Edmund. He was like so hamming it up. I think he was having so much fun playing that character, and it was such a joy to see him do that and to see people come up to him after the show to say how much they enjoyed watching him and how much of a great job he did. It's just proud wife alert. I'm very happy for him, and I just love seeing him do what he loves to do. I did want to give a little reading update for the wedding people. Also, Jenna, I don't know who you are. I wish to God you had not almost ruined this gorgeous cover with your stupid sticker. No idea who you are, but man, I wish these were removable. You're so ugly. Anyway, I'm a little bit more than halfway through. I'm about over 200 pages in, and y'all, I love this. I feel like this is going to make me sob. It is a very emotional book, but I would say like it's kind of subtle. There's a lot of humor weaved throughout and a lot of lightheartedness throughout all the dark topics and like Phoebe's life falling apart and her mental state, and she's being surrounded by all these people for the here for this wedding. The wedding people, she keeps calling them, still like flashing back to all these things Phoebe thought that she did wrong with her life, or the ways that she thought she wasn't enough. And it's like hitting so hard for me. Even though I'm not 40, I have definitely had moments, even the last few years of my life, because this takes place a little bit after the pandemic, like a year after COVID. A year and a half after 2020, and just how that reshaped her life, her marriage, everything for her. And I think back to that time and what I was doing in my life, and like I moved to Minnesota 3 months before lockdown. I had a new job. I didn't know one person here. My family was over 16 hours away. I had my pets. I had Moose and Sophie. Sophie is no longer with us. They were all I had here, and I would be on Zoom calls all day, and it was like mind-numbing. At the time, I was in an apartment I didn't love, and I was alone with myself, and that was probably one of the best things that ever happened to me, was me being alone with myself and like truly learning to love myself as I am and be like, oh yeah, I'm actually a really cool person and I have a lot of interests and a lot of talents, and why am I so mean to myself? Why do I put myself down? I'm kind of like, you're kind of getting that, a lot of that from Phoebe. Is like, I should love myself. I am really good at this. I do know a lot of cool things. I am a really great person to be around. And just like learning to fall back in love with yourself and fall back in love with life. It's just like, such a strong relationship with Lila. She's almost like this older sister with Lila and like talking her through all these issues, and Lila's just like spilling her guts out to Phoebe because before this week didn't know her and didn't have any expectations of her or anything, and Lila, it's very freeing to talk to someone who doesn't know her. They both are written so well and have such a great back and forth, and like I love their dialogue. That's probably one of my favorite parts of this book is Phoebe and Lila talking to each other and just opening up and being so vulnerable with each other. In reality, they're like total strangers. They've only known each other for a couple days. I'm really loving this. I feel like it's going to make me cry. And that's okay. It's okay to have emotions about fictional characters. It's okay to... I love when a book makes you feel something strongly. It makes you feel emotional, makes you think about your life. I don't want to cry. I need to take a nap. I got up super early to finish editing my fall video, and then I went for a run with Luke, which I haven't gone out to run in years, and I wanted to slowly get back into it because I've really enjoyed walking and being outside and having goals with that. So I was like, maybe I'll try running again. And I actually did a lot better than I thought I would. I ran 2 miles. I had like a 15-mile pace, which thank God, I've never thought I would say this, but thank God for TikTok. Because, yeah, slow runners unite. Like, there's no way in f***ing hell that I'm going to hit a 6-7 mile pace. At least not anytime soon. I don't know if I ever want to. Like, I enjoy... If that's your pace and that's what you want, great. Like, that's awesome. No, I enjoy... I'm just slowly getting back into it. I'm taking my time, finding my stride, and going with Luke. It was really nice. It was really fun, and we just like kind of went in a loop. He showed me that this house in the neighborhood has ducks, and it just made my morning, and it was really sweet. Yeah, I got back, had some breakfast, took a shower, then Luke had to go to the matinee showing of King Lear. We're going over to Luke's parents' house for dinner tonight, so I probably won't get any more reading done tonight, but I will probably finish this within the next day because I'm just eating it up, and I love this. I really love this. I'm so glad I picked it up. I'm going to go read a little bit more, then Luke's gonna be back in a bit, and then we're gonna go, and I will check back probably when I'm done, or if I have a crying meltdown, one or both. Hi, good morning. It is the next day. I did finish The Wedding People. I really needed this book. I really needed this book. But before I get into that, I wanted to wrap up the other 2 books I read for this vlog and wrap up the vlog. I'm so happy and shocked that I've read 3 books and they were all really good. I'll start with Dr. Cadia. That was just like a why not? Nothing's holding my attention anyway. Why not? I'll try it. And it was super fun. I've been thinking about it. I gave it 3.5 stars, but it's probably a 4 because I still keep thinking, oh my god, what is in my eye? Anyway, I keep thinking about it. And I had so much fun with it. I will definitely read more Carrie Lake going forward. This is giving me more hope for myself for reading the dark romance genre. Still don't think it's one I'm going to seek out more so than the other genres I love to read, but I still really enjoyed it. So that was great. And then I read these like mind-blowing, stellar Artificial Wisdom. I just ordered a hard copy, like a paperback, because the one in the US doesn't come out until November. And so I went on eBay. It looks like hopefully it'll show up as a paperback. I want to annotate it and I want to read it again. That's definitely going to be one of my tops of the year. Hands down, no questions asked. I loved it. I've still been thinking about it. I've been telling Luke about it. I'm like, you need to read this book. I know you don't have a ton of time to read, but there's an audiobook. You'll go through it so fast. Read it. And then let's get to The Wedding People, the only physical book I have to hold up for this vlog. This was so special to me. I'm so glad that I was just perusing during my reading slump and I saw an author I previously had a good time with. That sounded weird. I previously enjoyed their work. I love this. I tabbed the shit out of it. It made me tear up in one place in particular. I loved Phoebe so much as a character. I resonated with her so much. If you are feeling lost in your life, if you are feeling like you don't know what to do, that you keep putting stuff off, that you're in a rut. I'm in a rut right now. Y'all, I'm in a rut right now. I've been in a rut for a while, and this was probably the kick in the pants I needed, was reading this random fiction book that I picked up. It was great. It reminded me, and I say this reminded me of it, but it's not exact story for story, so don't, if you didn't like the book I'm going to recommend, don't let this dissuade you. It reminded me of Happy Place, but mainly because of the location and like the other people involved besides the main character. Like, I love the setting so much. I love that it took place over a week leading up to this wedding. I love the conversations that were had that were so deep and personal, and I loved Phoebe's inner monologue and like in her journey. That's how her journey during this story. I love this. I ate up. I sat down. I didn't film it. Whatever. It's okay. I sat down. Luke was making this very complicated dinner that took him like 2 hours to make. And I sat down on the couch and breezed through this. And I don't want to cry because I just did my makeup because I have to go to work. Jesus Christ, Peyton. Yeah, I love this. I love this. This is one of my favorites too. I gave this 5 stars. I gave Artificial Wisdom 6 stars. And Dr. Katie a 3.5 floor stars. So I'm very happy. I think this was what I needed just to try something different. And I'm so glad I did. But thank you so much for watching me crawl out of my reading slump. I'm pretty sure I'm out of it. I just did my fall TBR, which I'm really excited about, to start reading those books, more spooky, scary leaning books. The change of weather always does me wonders. I love fall and winter. It is when I thrive. So I think that'll help a lot. I have a lot of projects lined up and crafts. I'm trying to prioritize more of my self-care during the week because work has been kicking my ass, and I think I need to just prioritize more self-care, downtime, whether or not that includes reading, and not stress out about that. Yeah, take care of myself a little better. Because it's been rough, y'all. It's been rough. I won't go too deep into it just yet. Yeah, it's been I've had a rough go of it this summer. So I'm really glad to go into a new season, reset, as always. Thank you so much for clicking. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll have a new video for you soon. Bye! Bye.